Welcome to the class.
This is the third lesson about narrative gerontology and digital storytelling.
In this way, this model has the following objectives. First, define the concepts of narrative gerontology and digital storytelling. Second, raise understanding of how these concepts can be combined as an innovative resource. 3. Raise awareness on how it can be used in the context of social work. 4. Raise confidence to apply this resource in a digital environment. When implementing activities related with narrative gerontology and digital storytelling, there are some ICT tools that can be used to support you in editing and compiling information and materials, also making a final result more effective. These are 3 examples of ICT tools that you can use and consider when implementing an activity related with narrative gerontology and digital storytelling. The first, Elementary, is an online platform that gathers artists and writers and allows everyone who is interested to create their own interactive stories. The platform contains a huge stock of images and sounds that can be used, which also promotes the work of the artists who have created them. It is a common free tool used by different professionals, but mainly teachers, who are able to create a class and share to up to 35 students' accounts. They can then create their own stories by adding text, animations, and sounds. Then they can share with others. Story Jumper is an online platform that allows teachers and students to create their stories and narrate them by adding voice files to text and images. Users only need a free account to enjoy the features of the platform, but there are also paid options that allow them to download and print their stories in the format of a book. Story.io, a free app both available for Android and iOS devices that allows users to tell stories to their photos. The app accesses the photos stored in the user's phones and turns them automatically into a movie. The user can then add the text, sound, and all the aspects regarding the organization of the photos and the transitions between them in order to create the best life narrative possible. Let's now focus on a specific one, the Story Jumper. This is the home page of Story Jumper tool. As it is possible to see in the print screen, the home page itself tells, "Don't let your stories be forgotten," which is exactly what we aim when implementing activities related with narrative gerontology. So the first thing to do when you go to the home page of Story Jumper is to create a free account in order to be able to start your own story. There are 3 options to create a free account in Story Jumper. First, you have a Google email account that you can insert your data. If you have a Facebook, you can insert the login of your account. There is also a possibility to choose a username and a password. This will be your account details to log in the future. Once you make the login in the platform, you are also able to see the books from other users. This can be useful to provide you some examples and inspiration for your own stories. This is what will appear when you log in Story Jumper. In this way, to start telling a new story, you may click on the button that says Create Book. Automatically, you will be presented with some option related with the type of the book that you want to create. Now is where the magic starts. Once you choose your type of book, a window will open, similar to this one that appears in your screen now. Do you see how many options you have in the left side of the screen? Let's start with the front and dedication pages. These are the first 2 pages that appear in your story. In the front page, you are able to choose the color of the cover, as well as the pattern. There are some quiet options available. In the front page, you are also able to write the title of the story and other key information, as the author's names. In the dedication page, as it is named, you can write a dedication message, or in the case of social connections, the name of the person that will tell his or her own story. This is an important aspect, as the people who will tell their story will see their own names in the final result, being this link to the questions that we were talked above related with the motivations of elderly people to narrate a story.
Now that you have the first pages filled, let's start creating the real story. From now on, we aim to show the different options that you have to create a story in a dynamic way through this digital resource, which is the Story Jumper. We hope that you find it interesting as we did, and that at the end of this model, you will be able to implement an activity in your professional context related with the narrative gerontology and digital storytelling, and taking advantage of the story jumper to develop the final result of your activity. As you can see, you have several options in terms of text, props, scenes, photo, and even audio record, which are key resources related with narrative gerontology and digital storytelling. In terms of text, you will find 6 options that go from simple text boxes to speak balloons or even a parchment. In relation to props, we present you to 2 different options. Option 1. You can choose a prepared prop and you have several options, including people, animals, clothes, home, nature, food and transportation. Or option 2. You can even create an avatar for the story. This is a particular aspect that we would like to highlight. Here, you can try to create an avatar as much similar as the person that is performing the exercise and telling his or her own story. To involve them even more, you can invite them to help you in creating their own avatar. When you choose to create your own character, you can benefit from different options: skin tone, hair, eyebrows, mouth, facial hair, glasses, clothes, and even socks and shoes. With a lot of options, we are sure that you will spend a wonderful time with the person that tells his or her own story, raising their interest and commitment with the activity, making them an active player of the final result and constructing their own avatar. In terms of scene, and similar to props, you will find several options related with land, indoors, sky and space, town, patterns, and sea. Depending on the story that the elderly person will tell, it can make sense to use some of these scenarios, or if you prefer, you can leave as a whiteboard. In the option Photos, you are able to upload your own photos. In the case of social connections and linked to narrative gerontology, you can ask the person that is going to tell them stories to choose personal photos that can be related with the topic narrated, or even ask family members or other key actors to send some pictures related with the topic that is going to be mentioned in the story. On the other hand, in the option of the voice, you can be able to make an audio record, which can be very interesting as we are talking about narrative gerontology. In this way, the people who tell their own story can record their own voice, making the final result of the book even more personal. It is important to take into consideration that all these features are available in each slide, so you can create unique designs for the story of each person. You can add as many pages as you want, delete the ones that you decide that don't make sense anymore, or even copy a page, which can be useful if you want to maintain the same scenario and features that are already created in the previous page. At the end, you will find the back cover, and similar to the front cover, you are able to make the necessary changes. Last but not least, in the right top of the main page, you can find a button saying Collaborate, which allows you to invite more people to edit your story and book. In the right top of the main page, you can also find a button saying Save and Exit. This is the button that you need to click when you finish your story. The book will immediately appear, and you can choose among Edit, Download as an ebook, Comment and Share. You can see that you are also able to buy it as a real book if you consider it necessary. You can also add a description on the bottom of the book and edit your privacy level. Before finishing, we want to highlight that in relation to privacy level, you can choose between public, where everyone can discover your story, family and friends, or even key actors. These are people with who you share the link of your story with, or private, where only you can see the story after making the login. And as we are talking about professional context, involving people that will tell their own stories or parts of their lives, we recommend you to always choose the private level, or if the person allows, choose the family and friends level, where only the people with the link, and in this case, with the consent of the person, will be able to see the story. Does it seem easy for you? In the next slide, you will find a tutorial video to better help you understand how Story Jumper works. Now that we mentioned the main steps on how you can use this ICT tool when implementing an activity in your professional context, let's see a video tutorial about it, so we can see in depth how to manage it in practice. Please click the link that appears in your screen to see the tutorial video. This is the end of the model related with narrative gerontology and digital storytelling. The Social Connections team, thank you for your attention.